At 2:20 in the morning, while most of the sleep slept peacefully, a thin young man sat alone under a flickering street lamp outside a small laboratory in New York. His clothes were worn, his pockets were empty, and for the third night in a row, he had not slept at all. Yet his eyes burned with something stronger than exhaustion. People passing by thought he looked insane. What they didn't realize was that the exhausted young man staring into the darkness would soon help create technology that would reshape the modern world forever. His name was Nikola Tesla, and his dreams were so powerful, they refused to let him sleep. Born in 1856 in the small village of Smiljan, located in what is now Croatia, Tesla grew up in a household filled with discipline, religion, and expectation. His father wanted him to become a priest. His mother, although she never received formal education, possessed an extraordinary talent for inventing household tools and mechanical devices. Tesla inherited something from both of them: imagination and obsession. Even as a child, he displayed abilities that frightened people around him. He could memorize entire books after reading them once. He solved mathematical equations in his head without writing anything down. He experienced vivid flashes of light and visions so intense that he sometimes struggled to distinguish imagination from reality. But his brilliance came with isolation. Other children considered him strange. Teachers sometimes doubted him because his mental calculations seemed impossible. Some even accused him of cheating because they couldn't believe anyone could solve complex problems so quickly. Still, Tesla remained consumed by one overwhelming dream: harnessing electricity in ways the world had never seen. In the late 1800s, electricity was still dangerous, unreliable, and poorly understood. Most systems relied on direct current, or DC electricity, which could only travel short distances before losing power. It worked for small areas but was impractical for powering entire cities. Tesla believed there was a better solution: alternating current, or AC electricity. The problem was that almost nobody believed him. After studying engineering in Europe and surviving severe illness, Tesla immigrated to the United States in 1884 with almost no money. According to popular accounts, he arrived in New York carrying little more than a recommendation letter and a head full of impossible ideas. America at that time was booming with industry, invention, and fierce competition, and towering above much of the electrical world stood one man: Thomas Edison. Tesla admired Edison at first. He even went to work for him shortly after arriving in America. The two men could not have been more different. Edison believed in practical experimentation through endless trial and error. Tesla believed in perfect mental visualization before building anything physically. Edison was loud, aggressive, and business-minded. Tesla was quiet, obsessive, and consumed by visions of the future. At first, Tesla worked exhausting hours improving Edison's electrical systems. According to later accounts, Edison allegedly promised him a large financial reward if he solved certain engineering problems. Tesla succeeded, but when he asked about the payment, Edison reportedly laughed and dismissed the promise as a joke. Whether every detail of that story is fully accurate remains debated by historians, but one fact is undeniable: Tesla left Edison's company deeply disappointed and nearly broke. For a period of time, one of the greatest inventors in history survived by digging ditches for manual labor. The humiliation was enormous. Imagine possessing ideas capable of changing civilization while struggling simply to afford food. Most people would have abandoned their dream. Tesla became even more obsessed. Night after night, he worked on his alternating current system. He barely slept. Friends worried about his health. He often worked until collapse, driven by visions of a future where electricity could travel across entire nations. Many investors rejected him immediately. Some believed AC electricity was too dangerous. Others thought Tesla was unstable. Newspapers sometimes portrayed him as a strange eccentric rather than a serious scientist. Then the conflict became public. What followed became known as the War of Currents, one of the greatest technological battles in American history. Edison fiercely promoted direct current systems while attacking Tesla's alternating current technology. Public demonstrations were staged to portray AC electricity as deadly. Animals were even electrocuted publicly in efforts to frighten people away from Tesla's ideas. The pressure was brutal. Tesla wasn't just fighting technical challenges anymore. He was fighting powerful business interests, public fear, and widespread ridicule. But dreams that keep people awake are rarely defeated easily. Eventually, industrialist George Westinghouse recognized the brilliance of Tesla's system and partnered with him. Together, they pushed forward despite enormous opposition. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 1893, Chicago prepared to host the World's Columbian Exposition, one of the largest public events on Earth at the time. Millions of visitors were expected. The organizers needed a company capable of lighting the entire fairgrounds with electricity. It was the perfect opportunity. Edison's DC system competed for the contract. Tesla and Westinghouse's AC system competed too. Against all expectations, Tesla's alternating current technology won. When the fair officially opened, over 100,000 electric lights illuminated the night in dazzling brilliance. Crowds stood frozen in disbelief. Many people had never seen anything like it before. Suddenly, Tesla was no longer the strange dreamer people mocked. He was the man lighting the future. Soon afterward, Tesla's AC system helped power the Niagara Falls hydroelectric project, one of the greatest engineering achievements of its era. It proved that electricity could be generated and transmitted across massive distances efficiently. That system became the foundation of modern electrical power grids still used around the world today. But despite changing history, Tesla's life never became easy. He remained obsessed with bigger dreams: wireless communication, free global energy transmission, advanced robotics, even concepts resembling modern smartphones decades before they existed. Some ideas were brilliant, some were unrealistic. Many investors eventually abandoned him because his visions became too expensive and difficult to understand.
In his later years, Tesla lived alone in hotels, feeding pigeons in city parks and working endlessly on unfinished ideas. Much of the world slowly forgot him. When he died in 1943 in a small New York hotel room, he was nearly broke, but history would eventually rediscover what the world once ignored. Today, Nikola Tesla is recognized as one of the most influential inventors who ever lived. Modern electricity systems, wireless technology concepts, radio development, and countless engineering breakthroughs trace back to his work. And perhaps the most unforgettable part of his story is this: Tesla was not driven by comfort. He was driven by a dream so powerful that rest became impossible. That is the difference between ordinary wishes and true dreams. A wish disappears when life becomes difficult, but a real dream follows a person into sleepless nights, lonely struggles, public humiliation, and impossible odds. Because true dreams are not the ones people see while sleeping. True dreams are the ones that refuse to let people sleep at all.